Alright, so we'll try to fix this that we made a mistake with. This uniseal, of course, is way too big, as you can see. And it does help if you change colors. If everything's the same color, it's really hard to see stuff. So why don't I change this material and make it, I want to make everything a different color, in fact. Why don't I make this material the Outflow Pipe, and then I can change the color to something ridiculous that I can see, like blue, and it'll be easier to see. Similarly, I don't even know what happened to my 4-inch pipe. Oh, I made it disappear, I recall. Some of the go to that H, hit that Alt H brings everything back. Okay, and I'm going to change the color of this one. I don't want different edges, I don't want different materials, so I'm going to just knock these materials out of here. Make this color here called the feed pipe. Yeah, feed pipe, and change its color to, say, purple. That makes it easier to see, and that's a lot easier. All right, and oh, and one thing about that, well, we'll get to that later. The feed pipe. So then we're going to go over here. It's easier to see this, and zoom in and click on this uniseal, and this uniseal now is supposed to be, this is the 2-inch, and I should say, always call it by what it is, uniseal 2-inch, so that they'll group better. And the other one was, close this up, uniseal 4-inch. That makes them easier to see. So here's uniseal 2-inch, and uniseal 2-inch is not where it should be, so I'm moving it to the center, and I'm scaling it down and moving it, and it should now hug the pipe, and maybe it needs just to be a little bit smaller. Yeah, so that it squeezes through the uniseal. Now, if that's the case, then what we'd need is to make the hole big enough for a 3-inch uniseal flange, not the 2-inch pipe, because you always have to cut them to the size of the flange, not the pipe. And I made the hole too small. So having done that, I'm going to take this uniseal once, like I did the other, and I'm going to rotate it in the x-axis by 180 degrees. And now that I've got it rotated by 180 degrees, you can see the flange sticking out, and I can grab it and raise it, but you see the flange is actually too big for the hole. And looks like I haven't even made that uniseal large enough, because if I'd made it large enough, then it would be sticking out a little bit more. And so I do need to scale this up a little bit more, such that the hole here is, yeah, more pronounced. All right, so I'm really making a mess of things, but we're going to take this and now take the tank, go into the Z in the wireframe, and take the tank, and we will have to get those points that we had, which were, I should be able to draw a bounding box around it. There it is. And that should be the only, yeah, the only thing I have here. And I want to make this bigger out to the size of the flange of the uniseal. And so I'm going to scale it. Oopsie. Scale it in X and Y. No. Why is the center of this weird? Oh, the center of this. Look at that. It selected everything. Don't want that. I only want these points. So the way I'm going to get these points, I guess, is by using the circular thing going around like that. And hopefully I didn't get anything else. but the center looks like it's way up here of that. So I may have to go to Mesh, Transform, no, won't let me, Mesh, eh? Gotta, yeah, can't do that, okay. Can't do it, can't transform the center, but let's see, I can grow it. All right, I can grow it out to what I believe is outside the flange. It's actually way inside, it's way too far outside the flange. So let me scale it again, scale it in, and now it's outside the flange of the uniseal. This pipe, of course, is not centered properly. So there's all sorts of problems with the way that I'm doing this. But it's a little bit better than it was. So now I'm going to rotate the uniseal in X by 180 degrees again, and that sort of did it. So that the hole is larger than the pipe. And that's the way it would be in real life. The hole that you can see here is larger than the pipe because the uniseal goes in the hole first, and then the pipe gets pushed in and pushes the flange out, and that's what makes the seal in a uniseal. So having avoided a major crisis doing this, the next hole I make, which is for the gas hole, the gas out, is going to be, I'm going to use the item that to make the hole that is large enough instead of making it too small. So for the next piece, what we're going to do is we're going to get a bulkhead fitting, if they have one. I'm going to go to 3D Uniseal Warehouse and go to Bulkhead Fitting. There's one there, not the one I want. These ones are okay. Push in bulkhead fitting. Don't really like this one. I want it to be recognizable, but that may be all they have. And if you can't find one you like, you'd have to make one, which would be a pain. Bulkhead connector. Yeah. I wonder if there is a tank bulkhead. That one, these ones are okay. This one is more the type of tank adapter that we are using, and here's some really good ones actually, I think. Let's see. Let's download it and find out. I think these ones are the best ones. So we'll go to Colada and download it. And now we shall go to our downloads folder. So there it is there, bulkhead, and cut it, and go to here, and here. After you've built up your files, you can build more things. It's just the, oops, shouldn't have done that. It's just the beginning when you're beginning to work, when you're like, hey, wait a minute. I need to download all sorts of stuff to make this project work. It's like going shopping. There it is, the bulkhead. The model is now called, oops. No, come on. I just want to change the name. We're going to call it Bulkheads, because it's a bunch of them. And we'll bring them in. And bring in Clara. And bring in Bulkheads. And there they are, somewhere. Wow, they're huge. They're all over the city. They're massive. That's not fun. Or they're not so big. I don't know. We've got to get them in the right place, though, and I don't know why they've come in. Oh, they are near the tanks. There they are. Alright. So somehow they brought in all the buildings, and we don't want all the buildings there. Although it's kind of cool to see the buildings. But they did come in the right size. It looks like. Let's see, let's go 7 and bring it over toward the top of my tank here where my pipes are. And here we have all of this SketchUp nonsense going on here, which is quite concerning. But it looks like the one that I want is this 2-inch one, if it is indeed a 2-inch bulkhead. Maybe there's only a single one, but there's all these control points from SketchUp. That's a mess. Let's see. Bulkhead. And what do I got? I got a this, and a this. So I got a ring. That's not what I was expecting, for sure. I'm not even sure that it's what I want. In fact, now I'm getting pretty sure that it's not what I want. It's not the kind of bulkhead that I want to work with. So maybe I'll just select it all and get rid of it. As the bulkheads, if I get rid of it like that, turn it off, nothing happens. What a mess. If I get rid of this, it all goes away. Yeah, didn't like those bulkheads much. So let's go back to 3D Warehouse and see if there's a better bulkhead. Spears tank adapter, maybe. It's not too bad. Let's try that. This is going to be part of your game too. You're going to be playing with trying to find the right model. This says Untitled, so I'm going to rename it and call it a Bulkhead Spears, because I would never remember Spears. So name things well. I'm going to cut this and go back to there and paste it here. And then, as you know, you're going to unzip Spears, which is there, and you're going to rename model Bulkhead Spears. And now try that again. So import Colada and make it Bulkhead Spears. That in, and where did it go? There it is. Now maybe it's way too huge. Let's see when we bring it around. No, it's not. It took its control points and it made very tiny bulkhead actually. It's getting really, really tiny. So let's see what happens. Where are you, bulkhead? You're weird. I can't even find you. Oh, there you are. Bring it over the tank. These buildings are really beginning to annoy me, so I've got to make sure that I can close them off. Oh, there's my other bulkheads too. Oh, what a mess. So let me get rid of these things because they're inconvenient, and get rid of all the ancillary control points that came with it. I'm telling you, SketchUp models can be crazy. So it's good that you're seeing this actually. so that you don't freak out when it happens to you. This bulkhead now is looking okay. The only thing is if I join this up, then it won't be screwed down. The nice thing about the way this has come in is it actually has parts that can move. And if I can get them selected, then I could join these parts as objects that could rotate. So like if I take that, if I did it right, and I rotate that in the z-axis, you see that there is something there. Rotate it in the y, rotate it in x, it spins around, which is the way it's supposed to work. So hopefully I've got all the parts that I want from that. And there is a thing when you go select when you can say select all by type, but that's not going to work. Select more or less, select grouped, select linked by material. Oh, but that's the whole thing. We didn't want that. All right. So you've got to be able to select parts of it that you want to group into things. And sometimes it's not as easy as you might suspect. So I'm holding Shift key down and trying to get this piece, and it looks like there's another piece of the ring there. I don't know if I'm supposed to take this part too. Maybe I am. But the way you would do that is select what you can and then go to a view that you can work with, and then when you do that, do a temporary move. Say we'll do a G in X and lift it up, and if everything looks okay,
make sure the axes are
then you'd be okay, but it looks like it's missing something when I did that, so I don't want to do that. So let me put G in X again and move it back down. I wish I could do undo on this machine without it going crazy. Maybe I can do undo. Let's see. No, this machine is not. Yours probably will do a lot better. Mine's freezing up every time I do undo. Maybe it's the new version of Blender. Maybe it's my machine. So what can we take off of this without damaging things? This part, click off of this. Right. This ring and this ring for sure are part, as is this ring. So if I move this, yeah, it still leaves a missing part of the model. So maybe it's just this ring and this ring. Let's try that. Yeah, that's what we want. So now that I've got those two pieces, I can hit Control J and try to join them into one piece, which is cool. That's the only piece that's going to turn. The rest is also supposed to be one piece. So what if I move this up? Well, actually, let me grab everything but that. And the best way to do that is to hide this piece, again with the H key, because the rest of it is just a single piece that came in from SketchUp as a massive bundle of stuff, and I don't want that. So I'm going to grab it, and I'm going to Control J that, and hope it works. Did it work? No, apparently not. So sometimes it won't take it all at once, so I'm going to have to grab separate pieces of this. So I'm going to grab this and shift-click this. And come on. That and that and that and that and that. And let me Control J those together. And then I'm going to try to get this with this and this and this. So this is sort of the game you play, trying to join meshes together sometimes until you join them all together. That didn't work, so I'm going to go here and shift-click on this and shift-click on this and tell that to join. And it worked, and then I'm going to see if I can do all this now. Come into here and say, hey everybody, will you join? And it did. Okay, so now that piece, which is here known as SketchUp, is going to be bulkhead body. And then that other piece I hid. If I do Alt-H, it comes back, and I want to make sure that it is known as something, but where did it go? This bulkhead body, maybe it's in bulkhead body. Yeah, it's group 1. So group 1 is going to be called bulkhead ring. And yeah, we got the bulkhead ring. Then the bulkhead ring can go up and down and screw on, but it's all part of the bulkhead. And if I click on the whole thing, then I should be able to move that whole thing into position, which is really way up here. And here. Finding your way around the space. Now that's a control point there, and here's the problem with a control point. If you click, oh, I lost my bulkhead body, eh? Oh, come on. It's not even letting me come in there. Where did the bulkhead body go? Where are you, bulkhead body? There it is. So see that control point there? That control point controls the size, and if I were just to delete it, it would make this thing humongous. That is what tells it to be the right size that SketchUp wanted it to do. But sometimes you can go Alt-P and clear parent and keep transformation, and sometimes it works. So if I take that and I say Alt-P, clear parent, keep transformation, the parent went away. Good. So I don't want that parent. I don't want any of that garbage in here. It comes up my model. So now I have my bulkhead, and I select it. And I move it. And move it over to my IBC tank. And the buildings get in my way again. Why? I don't want to see those buildings. Go away, area buildings. Go away, buildings. Okay. And move it up. And it looks like it came in at about 2 inches, which would be really cool if it came in at 2 inches. Then we're golden. I'm going to rotate it in the y-axis by 90 degrees. Oops, nope. I'm going to rotate it in the y-axis by 270 degrees. Good. It's in the right position. Come up above and move it over because it's a 2-inch bulkhead. And does it fit? Lo and behold, yes. Sort of perfect. Not perfect. Sort of perfect. It needs to be a bit larger, actually. But that's pretty close. Pretty darn close. The hole actually needs to be able to fit on top of the pipe, the 2-inch pipe. And so I'm going to scale this out a little bit larger until, boom, the pipe appears in it. And that means that it is pretty good in terms of its size. Yeah, because there's a 2-inch pipe fitting in there. That's going to be now my bulkhead. And that 2-inch bulkhead that I have, I should call now, that's bulkhead ring, and that's other one must be the body, because that's what's lit. Yeah, so I'm going to call this bulkhead body. And those two need to be in their own collection. So let me add a collection here and call this bulkheads and uniseals. And I'm going to take the bulkhead body and the bulkhead ring, and I'm going to move them down into bulkheads and uniseals, and I'm going to move the uniseal in there, and there should be one other uniseal around here somewhere. Somewhere. If I click on this, who are you? Where are you, uniseal? that one there is supposed to be called Uniseal 4-inch. And I should be able to take that and bring that into my same bulkheads and uniseals, that collection. Alrighty. There's the 2-inch, there's the 4-inch, and there's the bulkhead fitting with its ring. Now I'm going to make a penetration for this. The hole here has to be the size of this. And as we learned before, we better use a cutting cylinder because this is way too complex an object to be cutting out with. So that's not too hard. I can then take my cutting cylinder, and this one here is my 2-inch cutting cylinder. Actually, it's probably exactly the right size because the bulkhead is not like the uniseal. A 2-inch uniseal has a 3-inch flange, but a bulkhead fitting is generally, oh no, it's a little bit larger than 2 inches. All right, so we learned something. So we're going to move it into the center of this, and then we're going to scale it up a bit so that it covers that, because that's the size hole that you would have to drill. You'd have to find a hole saw that fit over it, just like this. And with this, I shouldn't have done that. Oh, and I hit Control Z, and this machine doesn't like that. You're going to find it a lot easier on yours because you're not going to have this problem when you hit Control Z. Something's bad, messed up. It's either my machine or it's the software. And it'll frustrate you. No end. Okay, so it did it's Control Z, but it did it in a terrible way. I'm going to Shift D to copy this and move this one over, and this one's going to be called the 2-inch cutting cylinder. But now the other one, which is this one, is going to be called the bulkhead cutting cylinder. All right, now I can make this bigger to be the size that I want to. In real life, you don't have to worry if it's not exactly the size because bulkheads have rubber rings which compensate for any small distortions. So that's going to be my cutting cylinder. And what I generally do in my biodigesters is I don't go through the lid. And you'll probably ask, well, why don't you? Why don't you just put your bulkhead right down through the lid and then have your pipes go up there? Well, it's because some lids have no hole already in them and you could put the bulkhead, but other lids have a pre-drilled hole with threads. Sometimes it's 2 inches, sometimes it's 1.5 inches, sometimes it's 3. You never know, depending on the IBC tank you get, what size lid you're going to get and whether it's going to have a hole and what size hole it has if it has a hole. So I don't go through the lid as many people have suggested. I've done it and I don't do it anymore. I'm perfectly happy now coming in here where I can get my hand through the hole and screw in the bottom of the bulkhead. So I'm going to make my hole here, maybe a little bit farther out. That's where my gas is going to come out. And once again, I'm going to go to wireframe and I'm going to select my tank and I'm going to go to the Boolean Modifier. And with the Boolean Modifier, I'm going to pick my let me do that, so I'm going to have to pick it over here. I'm going to pick that. Oh, did it work? Bulkhead cutting, yes. And I'm going to hit apply. Oh, but I made a big mistake because I didn't put it through, so it didn't have anything to see. So I've got to take that Boolean cutter and move it down into the tank. Now take the tank. Now add the modifier, Boolean. Now select that bulkhead cutting cylinder. Now hit apply. And if everything worked well, yes, I now have a hole in there, which is just grand. Because now I can grab my bulkhead and its associated ring and bring it down, bring it down through, and bring it up in there, and then try to bring it up. And it should go through the hole okay if we've done it right. perfect, but it's okay. Yeah, that's good, actually. That works. And you bring it up such that, oopsie, such that the bottom of the flange gets to the bottom of the IBC tank's thickness. For that, you might need to go into solid and maybe even go inside the IBC tank to see what's going on, and then move it up until it, and we got to get out of perspective, don't we? We've got to go like there and then move into the tank. Except that won't work, so let's do it. Let's Control 3 and go around that side. See if we can get on inside there. Can't really do it. Alright, well, we see the lines anyway. We see that gray line. So if I go GZ and move it up, that's where it would be tight against the bulkhead. And then, I mean not against the bulkhead, the bulkhead tight against the tank. Then I'm going to spin this around, or spin it down if it was real. I'd screw it. I don't have to do that here. I can just GZ it and bring it down so that it touches down. But what you would really be doing, of course, is spinning it, because it's got threads while you bring it down. And in the animation, we'll do that. So that's the bulkhead. It's got a hole in it, which is cool. Now, I have a pipe I need to put in, and it's a 2-inch threaded, well, you need a 2-inch threaded adapter for this bulkhead. If you buy a slip one, you won't need that. But if you bought one with threads like this, then you're going to have to screw in the threaded adapter. Well, just to be technically accurate, then we're going to go to the, here and say 2-inch male threaded adapter and see if anybody's made it. No, 2-inch PVC adapter. Nothing. Let's see if we do PVC pipe adapter.